Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live stream. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Good afternoon from the UK. We're about 9 minutes out from US Open. I know I didn't do streams Monday and Wednesday. On Monday, it was a US bank holiday, so there wasn't really much of a US Open. And Wednesday, I was having some internet issues because I just moved into a new place, but it's all sorted now. So it will be back to the normal schedule. Yeah, hello everyone. Hope you've been having a good week so far. Nice to see you. Hey, I have some questions. Sure, feel free to ask. Hello everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, feel free to ask any questions you might have. Yeah, just send them my way. In the meantime, looks like we're making a series of progressive lower highs on the NASDAQ 100. So I'll just be doing this as I read through the chat. So yeah, please feel free to ask me. So it looks like we've got somewhat of a wedge forming here. So it'll be interesting to keep an eye on this. This will probably be higher time frames. We'll just see how it goes. So one structure to keep in mind. Hello Brutus, how's your new place coming along? Yeah, very nice, thank you. Just got it, pretty much everything set up now. So yeah, it's pretty lovely, thank you. And we've got this smaller trend line forming just here. So we'll be interested to see how the price responds to this. US 30 analysis only NASDAQ. It's usually only NASDAQ. That's the main thing I trade. US 30 I don't really like as much. Lots of consolidation, and it likes to range a lot, so I don't really like trading US 30 personally. So this is pretty much NASDAQ. First time here, hello, welcome back, brother. Thank you, Jared. Hey Brutus, I'm new. Could you share your 2 LMI settings and your strategy? When's the new strat? Yeah, so the strat video will be released this week. I know I've been meaning to release it. I've just been quite busy with in real life stuff, but I will get that out this week, and then I'll explain the whole strategy for you guys asking. Sorry. So I was on a short in gold, and I got out because of consolidation. Yeah, I mean, you want to avoid consolidation as much as you can. Trade breakouts if you can identify them, and you do so by having your zones of support and resistance drawn. Yeah, so always good to avoid consolidation. If we're looking at some significant zones, I mean, what I'm seeing right now are these progressive lower highs here, right? Each time it's making a high, it's pretty much getting lower and lower. And again here, this most recent setup of candles, it looks like a straight rejection for this zone right here. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. However, the RSI is setting up for a potential bullish open. It's oversold, so it's got some room to run. And I'm sure some people here before have seen when you've had this exact setup just before the US Open, and the US Open has the liquidity and the volume to essentially break through these previous chart patterns. And again, with the RSI being oversold, it's got a full run to do so. Let me just get through these questions. Do you mark support and resistance on this? Yes, support and resistance. So price action and market structure are always king. Indicators are only to help you with your entries and to help identify market structure and price action, things like that. But yeah, it's always important to have the basics already on your chart before you start trading. That's a given. Hello, afternoon, everyone. First time. Thank you, Paul. Welcome. Hi, I'm new here from South Africa. Welcome. After watching Artie and Christy, you are next. Great. Well, hopefully I can compare to them in some way. What is the percentage gain on an account per month regarding your strategy? I haven't had it. I haven't had it back tested to that extent. But I comfortably make above 20% a month personally. Hello, Brutus. Hello, everyone. Before we start, I'd like to know if that's a simple or exponential moving average, if this stochastic setups work with RSI 2, or it must be used alongside TDS and NMI. So this is a simple moving average, 200 simple moving average. The stochastic RSI you'd use in place of the RSI. I mean, you can use both. It doesn't have to be used with the TDS and LMI, but it's just a useful indicator to gauge the balance between the buying and selling in the market. Hey, Mr. Artie, I'm not Artie, unfortunately. You must be confusing me. Artie is an admin on our server, but I'm not. I'm not personally Artie. How is it looking on the 1 hour for RSI? Let me see. Yeah, not ideal. Overbought RSI. Again, could see a structure similar to this here, where you've got the rejection wicks that have kind of rejected from this trend line that I've drawn. And we could see a similar structure to this. On the hourly, it's too close to the 200 to be making any trades on the hourly. So not a great setup medium term. Hourly's not looking strong. 4 hour, however, it's got some potential. It's got some room to run. But again, I'm looking for a breakout of this structure first before anything is traded, just to be on the safe side, because we have quite a large structure that needs to break out of here in order to go on a proper run again. So we'll be waiting to see what the US Open has in store for us. But like I've said, it's promising short term just because of where the RSI is. But as Alp has pointed out, hourly is overbought, so we'll see some kind of pullback on that. Hey mate, hello Buzz. Oh, nice to see you, Buzz. Basically the same like shark out of the water. No, it's not. Well, I'm not sure if you're talking about the percentage gain or the strategy. I mean, the strategy isn't the same, but the percentage gain, you can get more than 20% on any good strategy that works. Ever thought of trading crypto? Not personally. I find the spreads a bit funky. Then yeah, I mean, I haven't really thought of it. The spreads are a bit funny, so I just stick with the indices. Just working through these questions. Hello from Manila. Oh wait, sorry, Buzz. What would you do if 50 minutes is oversold in RSI, but 30 and 1 hour time frame is going opposite direction? So in that case, you're just trading the time frame that you have in front of you, and you're just using the higher time frames as a gauge of how long you can stay in that trade for. So on the 15 minutes, you might get like 20 pips of movement, but you know that the higher time frame, the RSI is going to catch up to you and work against you, so to close before those candles start forming on the higher time frames. So it's just to use as an indication of how long you should be in your trade for, really. That's what. Oh, the market. Sorry, market's just opened. Here we go. So yeah, again, what we're watching for is confirmed close above this level and a breakout from this structure that we've drawn. So we'll be looking to see. It's looking promising. So this is a pretty bullish open for now, but again, candle closure, it's important, or you could end up in a situation like over here. So this candle is looking promising. Let me just keep going through these. Hello from Manila. Hello. Hi, Brutus. Hope you're well. Hello, Kunda. Nice to hear from you, mate. Is it possible to limit the amount of stars on the baseline overlay? So the baseline overlay, I'll just get rid of the TDS. You can, if you, I know there's a lot going on. If you mess around with the fast period, fast range, slow period, and slow range, if you edit these, then you can essentially change the sensitivity of the stars being printed on the baseline overlay. So that would be how you alter that for the baseline overlay. Okay, let me just keep going through. Isn't the moving average supposed to work as support and resistance if you have to mark up? Won't the whole chart be clustered? So the 200 moving average, you are correct. However, what we're using it for mainly is so we're only looking for buys. So we're only looking for buys above the 200 moving average, and we're only looking for sells below. That is just to help confirm the trend that the price is currently in. And then, like the price isn't always staying near the 200 moving average, so you would need to draw separate zones of support and resistance. So like down here, for example, if you're trading this, you can't really be using the 200 moving average because it's all the way up there. So you would need to draw separate zones of support and resistance, and it shouldn't get too cluttered as long as you keep your charts clean. If you alter the indicators, so maybe not everything is showing at the same time, but yeah, you do need separate zones of support and resistance as well as the 200 moving average. I'm new here. What are some of your confidences when you enter a trade? Welcome. So trend, first of all, trade with the trend, and then my strategy, I go for a buy star. If we're above the 200 moving average, which is this white line here, then we're looking for buys above, sells below. If there's a buy star above and upwards crossing the RSI from this oversold position and 2 green LMIs, that's my confidence for a buy. Likewise for a sell, if we are below the 200 simple moving average, a downwards cross in the stochastic RSI from the overbought position and 2 red LMIs. I think I did have it written up. I will write it up on the chart just after I get through some of these questions. Hello Brutus, hello Gustavo. Welcome. Have you heard about Boy Trade? I haven't, Sammy. I have not heard about that. Could you please let me know why is there 2 LMIs and what's the settings? So I have 2 LMIs, right? One, the settings are here. So the R value 1.15, the delta period 40, and the standard deviation 4.669. And then the second one is the same, but with the delta period of 10, right? So the difference is the one with 10 is more aggressive to price movement, will change more responsively, and kind of acts as an earlier entry indicator as it changes sooner. And then the one with 40 is used as a stronger trend identifier. So you can see, for example, you can see here, so like this LMI was going greener much sooner on these bullish candles. So the one with 10 and then the one with 40 took all the way up to here to turn green, but then it identified a stronger bullish trend the whole way through. So that's how I use both of them. So the bottom one is for entries, and then the top one is for trend confirmation. Yeah, hopefully that helps. What is the moving average? 50 smooth? No, 200 simple moving average. I didn't quite get that. Could you explain how the low and higher time frame works again with regards to entry and how long you can stay in a trade, exit? Okay, so for example, we can use an example right now. On the 15-minute, so the time frame that I'm trading, we have oversold, and we have a nice upward swing, right? So if we're on a buy, it's looking strong. However, if I then switch to the hourly and it's already overbought, then I know that as these candles on the hourly start to form, it will swing against me. So I know that, okay, on my 15-minute buy, I could be safe for the remainder of the hourly candle. So the next, I don't know, 20 minutes before this will start to work against me. So the higher time frames will start to work against me in terms of the balance in the RSI. So I know, okay, if I'm entering on the 15-minute, maybe I can hold for the next 2 or 3 candles. But then if things correlate, so if I'm seeing the same thing on the 15-minute and the hourly, then I know I can hold it as a bit more of like a swing trade because I've got both RSIs working in my favor. Hopefully that was a decent explanation of that. How long have you been trading? About a year and a half. What's this time frame? 15 minutes. Do you pay for real-time data? Yes, I do. Could you show your LMI settings in case you missed it? You could just pause or something on the screen. That's one of them, and that's the second one. Most traders say 1% risk for 2% gain, but I find I get stopped out before I get the gain. What risk percentage do you suggest? And would you recommend ATR as a guide for trading stop loss? So, personally, Buzz, I don't really worry about. So, for example, like only shooting for a 2% win per trade. I just take what I see in front of me because the market. If you set like a predetermined take profit, I don't really trust the market to always hit that. So, I kind of monitor my trades a bit more closely, and then as soon as I see one of the indicators going against me, then I'm closing my trade. So, I could be risking 1% for a 1.5% gain. Sometimes it's a 3% gain. So I don't limit myself to a 2% gain because in that way, again, you can get stopped out before it hits your take profit. So I'd rather risk 1% for a 1.5% gain, and then close it rather than always shooting for 2%, and like limiting myself to that, if that makes sense. Is there a correlation between NAS 100 and US 30? No, there is no set correlation. If anything, it's an inverse correlation, but no, there's there's nothing that's a concrete correlation. So having said that, a lot of the time, if there's money that's pouring into the tech market, then it's money flowing out of these industrial companies because US 30 isn't just focused on tech, right? It's just like the largest companies in America, whereas obviously NASDAQ is the tech industry. So a lot of the time, if the money is flowing into here, then the money is flowing out of the US 30. But it's nothing to, it's nothing strong enough to be basing your trades off of. So, you can't just open a buy on NASDAQ and open a short on US 30 and expect it to work out every time. So don't limit yourself to that. When using break and retest, you wait for it to break the support resistance and wait for a star to print. Yeah, so if there's a star that's being printed on the breakout, then that would be an entry. So if it's from the support and then it's broke through the resistance and there's a buy star there, then that would be your ideal entry. Or sometimes, the star will appear on the following candle. So once you've got the confirmation of the breakthrough. What if the price action is below 200 moving average and there is a buy signal with the stochastic RSI crossing up and the LMI is green? So, I mean, obviously you can take those, but it's a lot riskier if the price is below the 200 because then it's not in an upwards trend or a bullish trend. So you can take those, but a lot of the time you can end up getting faked out. So that's kind of what the whole strategy. I mean, if I were to show you some examples. For example, these buy stars here, we're still below the 200 moving average, so we would be ignoring these. But if you had taken them, you would have got rejected off the 200 moving average and then probably stopped out. So those are some good examples of why not to take buys below the 200. So it's better to either wait for a clear breakout, or just show a bit of patience and wait for a better entry. Can I use the same strategy in currency pairs? Yes, you can. It works across most currency pairs, indices. I've tried out on gold with reasonable success, but gold is pretty funky. So yeah, I'm not sure about that one. Is there much difference between LMI and the TMA RSI div? You prefer LMI? Yeah, so the LMI is our paid indicator. and it's much more powerful than the moving average RSI. I know Artie recommends he recommends LMI a lot in his videos, and it's just a hand built indicator, which is much more accurate in showing change in trend and things like that. What is paying for real-time data? So you can subscribe to different plans through your TradingView subscription and pay for real-time market data on the indices. That's for Jared. I'm not sure if you know Christie's US30 strategy, but if you do, is it safe to say they are similar except use TDS stars and she uses baseline stars? I haven't watched her video in a while, but I assume if it's using the stochastic RSI and LMIs and things like that, then it's probably quite similar. But like, there's a large difference between the TDS and the baseline overlay in the way that the stars are calculated, and I just prefer them on the TDS, which is why I use them. Do you have a preferred time frame to trade? And if so, why? By the way, thanks for the content. Thank you very much. So I just prefer the 15-minute. Sometimes if I'm short on time on that day, I use the 5-minute. But the 15-minute I feel is a kind of a perfect balance between, I like taking a quick trade, so maybe just 2 or 3 candles, or potentially setting yourself up for a swing trade. I feel like the 15-minute is the perfect balance for that. Hey Brutus, what do you look for when placing stop loss and take profit? Okay, so stop loss would always be, it would be below the previous level of support. So say if I bought in here, then I would probably just put my stop loss just below the 200 moving average, and we are below this support zone. Take profits, again, I don't really deal with them. I don't trust the market enough. I just take what I see in front of me. I don't limit my trading to certain, percentage goals or different ratios and things like that. Again, I've just been, screwed over so many times. If I just set myself a strict take profit level, so I'd rather take a smaller win, but more successful wins, rather than always aiming for, multiple percent. And you have the time, can you do Ethereum? Sure, I can do that in a second. If you're moving up after a huge down move and if you're moving up after a huge down move and there is star printed but you're still below 200 moving average, I'm not really sure what the question is in what you said. I think it was more of a statement, so I'm not sure how to answer that, Rav. How do you mark up support and resistance? Come and get a quick demonstration how you mark up and how you trade a zone, and what you'd see to close trade manually. Okay, let me do that. So support and resistance zones. Okay, for a support, you're looking at levels where the price is used as like a cushion. So it's come down to it's left some of these wicks on the downside, and has bounced off of. So again, from this zone, we're probably looking at this level here. Again, so the price has come down, it's left this rejection wick, it's bounced straight back up, and then again, it's come down, the price has touched it a couple times. You do get this candle that breaks straight through it, but this again is a level of support for these other candles here. You can see it correlates on this side over here, so that'd be your support. If we looked at it with without them there, right? So we're just looking again for these zones where the price is basically, it's bounced off of like a straight line, and it's just training your eyes to be able to see those. Again, resistance would be the level where you've got some wicks to the top side, and the price has kind of hit that as a ceiling on a few occasions. So again, we're probably looking at something like this here, and oops, sorry, that was a mistake. And then this essentially becomes support. If it breaks through, then we can see again on this candle here that this zone now is support as the candle is closed above it. So that's a pretty simple demonstration of how to draw a zone. I know some people use like straight lines as their zones, but I just prefer a rectangular box because it kind of it's not as strict, so you're less likely to get faked out. Like, oh, has it actually closed above this zone? Has it closed below? So I find a zone you can kind of incorporate more wicks and the bodies of candles, and you're less likely to get kind of faked out by a candle closure, if that makes sense. To put my stop loss, so again, if I was buying, say I bought here, just for example, let me make that a bit thicker. If the blue line was my buy, then my stop loss would be, again, it would be somewhere, it would be somewhere below my the previous support. And in this case, if we have the 200 moving average right here, I would choose to either move it a bit lower so it's below the 200 moving average, or just keep it there. And then as soon as I start hitting certain levels of profit, I would then be moving my stop loss further up and further up until the point where I can move it to break even. And then from there, I can decide on how far I want to take it from there. But again, you start below the previous support level, and then you just gradually take it higher, which reduces your risk. I see. So you don't set and forget. Also, how long do you trade? If you lost X trades in a row, when do you stop? I've had 3 win days, 1 bad day. Yeah, so I don't really set and forget personally. I kind of have the time, so I don't have to do that, which I know is quite fortunate. But yeah, I don't really set and forget. And then if I've lost more than 3% of my capital, so about three trades, then I'm stopped for the day. Yeah, so about 3 trades would be my ideal level of stopping, or a 3% loss of my capital. But I'm glad to hear that you've had 3 win days. That's good, mate. Good to hear that. Looking at the trade right now, are you waiting for a buy start to print before jumping on a trade? Correct. We will see what's happening. It looks a bit, I mean, this wick right here on this previous candle isn't very, it doesn't make me feel very confident. It's quite a large rejection wick. We could see some similar form of what was happening over here happening right now. So again, if you can see, as each high has been made, it's pretty much got progressively lower, right? So again, this would then confirm that for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like the 6th time before swinging back downwards. So we'll be waiting to see. We just don't want to get caught out in this structure right here. So that's, it's an important thing to be looking at the rest of the market, what's been happening on the previous couple of days, because you can spot things like this happening and make sure that you don't get trapped on that. So we will be watching anyway. How do you take profit when market makes a new all-time high in NASDAQ? Well, I assume, so I'm holding a buy, and then we're in new all-time highs. I literally like to set my stop loss to break even first of all, and then from there just keep moving my stop loss up until the move is kind of exhausted. So rather than playing with the take profit level, I prefer to mess around with the stop loss to be gradually moving that up the further and further along the trade to secure more profit, and then I don't really have to worry so much. So I basically use my stop loss as a take profit, if that makes sense. Team BitPunter, but I'd like to get confident with this strategy before renewing my BitPunter subscription. I need an indicator that works a little like the LMI that I can work with. Any ideas? I don't really know any free alternatives to the LMI, unfortunately. So I can't really help you there. But yeah. Thoughts on NAS now after the 15-minute? Yeah, I mean, again, we're just waiting for some further confluence because we're not really liking this structure just yet. Some pretty large rejection wicks to the top side, at least for now. And what happened yesterday, we don't want to get caught in again. And it was exactly the same pattern pretty much. You've got like the US Open, The second candle looks quite similar, and then it fell off again. So we are just being patient for now. What moving average is that yellow line? I'm not sure which line you're talking about. I don't have a yellow line on my chart. Yeah, so I'm not too sure. Maybe if you could rephrase that question, JC. In my trades, when I see it's in a positive, I move stop loss from a negative to a +2 to +10. I do this so that I'm guaranteed that I don't lose any money, but then I get stopped by a strategy. It really depends, Buzz. I mean, it depends how tight you're being with the stop loss. I mean, you know, okay, for example, if you had the trade up here, and then it progressed. Okay, hang on. Let me try and give you an example. So if you're trading zones, right? Say for this zone here, your stop loss was here. Then as it broke through here, you just treat it like zone to zone. So you move your stop loss to the top of this one, which would be break even on this current trade. And then as the price continues to break through this way, you just adjust your stop loss zone to zone, right? So from here, we were in the negative, and then as it breaks through into this next zone, I'm just saying, like, if you just use your imagination, right? If we're just trading zone to zone here, so this would be your first one, which is the negative stop loss, and then as the price breaks up here, you then move it to break even, and then if the price again keeps breaking, then you move it to this level, which is one way you could do it. Again, you know, that's just trading zone to zone, so I'm not sure how long you can kind of sit there and watch it for. But I mean, okay, it's kind of it's a hard concept to explain in words, but if you're happy with the profit that you see in front of you, regardless, you should just close it, because there have been so many times where people have said to me, you know, I saw some profit that I should have been happy with, and then, you know, I kind of kept letting it go, and then it turned into like a red trade overall. So, you know, the best thing I would say is just move it to break even as soon as you can, and then take profit immediately when you're happy, rather than, you know, trying to get smart with the stop loss. That's what I would say personally. Even if your winnings aren't as high, and you miss out on some like potential nice moves, you should find that your losses will be significantly reduced. So basically, you wait for it to drop before taking profit. Yep, pretty much. As soon as the first indicator goes against me, then I'm closing, because it's in the new territory. You can never be too sure. How tight are you with your stop loss? Again, it just depends on the zones. So if we're in this zone right now, I would be looking to place my stop loss around here, and then, you know, if the zone is kind of larger than normal, then I would just adjust my lot size accordingly, like to incorporate this, you know, a looser stop loss. But if it's a smaller zone, then I can increase my lot size, because the stop loss is a bit tighter. So it depends on the size of the zone as well. Do you have a favorite currency pair, and if so, why? I don't really trade currency pairs. You know, then, like, I just prefer the indices. They're more volatile. There's more money to be made a bit quicker. And I don't like sitting here all day, so the currency pairs aren't really for me. I'm using default settings for TDS pretty much, except my delta period is 40. So the default is 10. But I've changed mine to 40. That way, I get fewer stars, right? But then, like, the stars are often stronger. It requires more confirmation. So we can see, for example, if I change my delta period to 10, can you see the increase in stars? Hopefully you saw that. Again, if I change it back to 40, the decrease in stars, right? So it's just trying to find the stronger stars, rather than like how many stars I can get, like so the frequency of them. I prefer fewer of them, but the stronger ones rather than more stars, and potentially not as strong. Which course do you study in university, and is it related to Forex? Yeah, so I study economics, and we're learning about like capital instruments, financial markets. Yeah, so the types of trading that banks do, all the different policies, the instruments they use. So it's pretty much spot on, like to the Forex markets, which is pretty handy. So yes, I protect my principal as soon as I can safely, then follow with stop loss on a pullback. Yeah, that sounds good. How are you making your support and resistance without marking on a 1 hour time frame? So I just mark it on a time frame that I'm trading. I just prefer doing that. But if we switch to hourly, you'll see that it's still all the same. If you've marked it correctly, then sorry, these were. If you've marked them correctly, it will still incorporate the same zones. I just prefer drawing it on the time frame that I'm trading. I think we all know when a trade has made a good amount of profit, and you need to get into the habit of not getting so greedy. Yeah, that is correct. The amount of times where I've seen people having a good trade open, and they've just kind of let it go completely to waste because they got a bit greedy, is infinite amount. Just quickly, just to talk about the chart, because I know that's what people are here for. Again, we're seeing pretty much what we thought was going to happen. We got that bullish open, but then a rejection off of this level right here, again with these seemingly lower highs, as the price continues to move downwards. So we're just waiting for some form of stronger confluence before entering anything. Is Tima ribbon the same as the Bollinger Bands? What's the purpose of a Tima ribbon? So I'm not exactly sure how to answer that, JC. I don't really work with the Tima ribbon. So the wizard would be the guy to message about that. Yeah, he will have a far more detailed answer on that, JC. So Buzz says zone to zone is what I do. What indices do you trade on? NAS 100 and the DAX. So the German 30 is the other indice that I watch. So it's between Nasdaq and the DAX. If you ever use stochastic RSI on 5 minute, is it standard or you change it to 1/8 length, same as RT? I keep everything the same on the 5 minute and the 15 minute, just personally, because I'm often on the 15 minute anyway. So for your support and resistance zones, how far do you look back to mark them up? Again, you know, I usually have everything marked up, but I remove them for the live stream just so I can put it live for people to see. But as I'm trading personally, I will have the whole week marked up. So on a Sunday, I'll come on and I'll mark up the previous week, and then as the time goes on, I'm just dragging the zones across. So if we took this level, I would just be doing this across the whole week, and then if everything's drawn up correctly, then you'll see it all start to correlate across the different days again. So if you draw them correctly, you'll see these correlations regardless of how far back you draw them. But I just get rid of my own personal markups for these live streams, just so I can show everyone, I'm doing it live. It gives me something to do while streaming. So personally, every Sunday I mark up the previous like significant levels, and then I just drag them across as the week goes on. So that's what I'd highly recommend. The start of every week is doing that, just marking up your charts. Yeah, but anyway, guys, that's probably it for today. Been streaming for about 40 minutes. Today is a Friday, so a lot of people don't trade anyway. Not really looking for much today. Nothing too. I'm not seeing anything that fills me with confidence. So probably taking Friday off. Could be looking for a potential short here, but again, we would need something like this to happen with this large bearish candle punching straight through the 200 moving average. So until we see that, probably nothing today. So I hope everyone has a good Friday. I hope you have a good weekend. If you need anything, please message me on Discord. Here we go. Yeah, this is the Discord. Please message me. I'm here on the top right. If you have any questions or anything, let me know. I will be releasing my strategy video, I promise. So I'll be making a full video of that for everyone to enjoy. And then I've got the 500 pound like challenge series where I trade up a 500 pound account using my strategy and doing everything live, showing you everything step by step, so you guys can follow along as well. Yeah, so that is in the works as well for this month. So a strategy video, the 500 pound trading challenge video. What else? Anything else you guys want, just send me a message and I will work on it for you. But yeah, guys, have a good weekend and I'll see you on Monday. Thank you.